Jolene Stoles, and our saint this week is Saint Pope John Paul II. His feast day is October 22nd, and this is really an incredible man. He is truly my hero. I'm so inspired by this man, and my heart is just bursting with love for him. He's really the Pope of my childhood, growing up with him. He's, for 2 whole decades, it's all I knew as my spiritual Holy Father. And he really did seek after the youth. And as a young person, I felt like he was seeking after me, calling on me to follow the Lord at such a young age. And it was appealing. His holiness was attractive. And I just remember feeling like, I want to give to the Lord in my youth. I don't want to wait till I'm old and lived my life and, sinned all that I want. No, I want to follow God now. And I really felt called out by him. He loved human love, that it should always bring us and point us towards God's ultimate love for us. And so he taught me about my dignity as a daughter of God. In and through studying his theology of the body, I just learned about how good I am as a person, and he always upheld that in our personhood. He also taught me how to suffer with grace and with humility in loving the Lord. His life was just saturated with suffering, honestly. His mom died at a very, very young age when he was only 8, and only 4 years later his oldest brother died. And then by age 20, his dad died. So by 20 years old, he had lost pretty much everybody that he had ever loved in his life. And shortly before that, the Nazis took over his country, and then after that, communism. So he just endured lots of suffering, some of it just human evil, and others just our mortality. But through the midst of it all, he kept hope and focused on the Lord and really trusted and leaned into the Lord. He joined the seminary and had to do an underground seminary during the Nazi regime, and then he fought communism with vigor, always upholding the human dignity of the person and saying, let me remind you who you are. Don't let them tell you who you are. He survived an attempted assassination and learned to forgive the man that tried to kill him. And then in his old age, he developed Parkinson's. He suffered greatly in the midst of the entire public. He did it very publicly and with so much grace and humility. He showed the value of uniting our sufferings with Christ in such a beautiful, beautiful way, and to suffer and die with dignity. I remember watching that as a youth and just being so inspired by his courage and strength. Throughout all this suffering, he kept such an optimism. He had a charism of joy and grace about him, always smiling and calling on the youth to encourage the culture of life in the midst of this culture of death, and to live the new evangelization, to bring others, be not afraid, he would say, and encouraging others to follow the Lord. He was an intense prayer. He prayed several hours a day and loved the Eucharist. You couldn't keep him away from it. He would know in a room or in a building where the Eucharist was, and was drawn to it and wanted to spend hours in prayer. He would go to confession once a week, and when asked why he needed to go so frequently, he'd say, well, sometimes I take my eyes off the cross. His incredible holiness was just so attractive. He loved Mary. Because he lost his mother at such a young age, he sought after her as his spiritual mother, and he dedicated his entire papacy to her, saying, I am totally yours, Mary. So in this great saint, we have such a witness of hope and of love, of mercy, and so we can call upon John Paul II to pray for us, and just remember, this could be you.